Good morning. Um, I don't remember what day it is. I think it's the 6th of October. It is Wednesday in 2021. Today I just, it wasn't, I don't know if it was complacency that was really the thing after I went through and, read some stuff on it and tried to identify the feeling that I was having. But it was still a topic that I wanted to talk on because complacency obviously is something that I've struggled with my whole life. It's always been like, everything I've ever done, I like seek to be the best and excellent and go full hearted. And then all of a sudden I'd get to a stage or a level and then I'd be like, oh, I'm good enough. And I would just go back to not pushing so hard, and I did that in my relationship with God. And I did that in my walk with God, that I would get to a point and then I would start to just be like, and then it would lead me back down. So the thing is that I don't think there's ever a plateau. You don't get to a point and then you coast. It's got to be a continual step up. If you're not growing, you're not going in the right direction. You're either going up, down, you're going left, right. There's no true line. Even though I don't know, I'm still processing this stuff, trying to figure it out. Sharing my experience with it is basically how, I would imagine this is going to take a lifetime. And I'm willing to share. And so I think it's going to be a process of going through, this is only the first 5 months. I mean, I would imagine that, I'll have a little more answers in a few years, if I continue down this path of seeking, striving, because I'll never attain the perfect relationship with God, like until I go to heaven, until he comes or whatever. Like there's no attaining this, there's getting better and getting closer and but I don't want to ever become stagnant or complacent. And, like the complacency that they talk about here, is really, I'm going to read this, but it's really good, and to acknowledge this and to have some understanding on how to deal with this. Because as I sit there in the mornings, or I sit there during the day and I start to think, I'm like, okay, I didn't pray throughout the day as much as I used to. I'm not, I'm starting to get to a point where I'm like, okay, I got some habits. I got some, God's changing me. I'm not like seeking these profound, I need to have this revelation today, but I still need to have these things. And I'm finding myself like pulling back a little bit from the chase. And that's really where the complacency came in, is that, I want to maintain my chase. I want to maintain chasing and seeking God and seeking his will in my life. And, my marriage is starting to get restored, and things are starting to go really well. Things are just, it's crazy how, when things go well, that is when I get complacent. And so when things are in upheaval, or I'm, like I'm, even though I sit in, you know, Daystar, which is a sober living house, I don't even think I've been here for 5 months, and it's really just a room I rent. That's basically living with guys that are Christians and going to Bible studies. Like it's not like, it is, most people, or for myself, I would have before, and I did think, and I used to struggle with these thoughts that I was, okay, well, I'm in recovery, or I'm not in recovery, but I'm in a treatment center, or I'm in this, but I'm not. I have the capability. Yes, I have. Obviously, I have to maintain sobriety, and I have to maintain my Christian walk to be able to live and rent this room. But that's just a part of life now. Like that's not even it's a given. So this is, for me. I just don't want to lost my train of thought, but really just trying to come to the understand that I can't get complacent, as my mind comes back to me, because I need to stay chasing. And I'm going to read this real quick because this gives some good examples. Complacency in the Bible. Complacency is a state of listless passivity in which you find comfort in mediocrity and the status quo while you indulge your own whims and feel your passion for God fade. Some typical thoughts associated with complacency include the following. Look for these in your own mind. I have nothing to offer. I deserve some me time. Let's do let someone else do it. So what one of the weapons against complacency is intentional service, a choice to work for the good of other people instead of fixating on your own comfort and contentment. This relates to the battle with self-importance, but the focus here is different. In the battle against complacency, the enemy isn't self-inflation, although it's related to it, but self-indulgence. So I'm like trying to wrap my head around this, and so I'm given a tool here, and this is what I'm going to take out of this for me is that I'm, in this process, and I do give, and I'm trying to serve, and I'm trying to do these things, and I love how it says here that it relates to the relates to the battle with self-importance. So if I can get out of myself and seek the importance of others and put others as the, lifting them up, encouraging them, helping them as something that is uh, a goal that I'm trying to attain, that will help me in this process of trying to stay out of complacency, because complacency is just getting comfortable, and for me it's getting comfortable and thinking that I don't have to exert the same amount of energy effort into getting a result. And one thing I just go back to this whole relationship with God, and I'm going to go through dry seasons. I believe, I've heard about them, read about them. There's parts of this freedom walk, there's parts of this relationship with God that I would imagine there's going to be testing. Because I'm not the first one. I'm not the only person who's got a relationship with God, and many of people of great faith have talked about this stuff. And I think I'd be trying to think sometimes my mind goes into this. Well, they just weren't surrendered as much as I am, and really that's not the truth. That's just me thinking self-importance. Thinking that my walk is different. It is different, but it's not better or more in depth. Like there's people that have struggled, because that's where we grow, is through these struggles. And so I'm just trying to identify these things as they come, bring them into the light, share them, talk about them with people. I got a lot of things going on in my life that, and what topic I bring up every day, I don't, I have a list of things that come at me every other day. Like there's topics that I want to talk about that I don't know. I just, in the mornings, I feel led to talk about some things more than others. And so I just bring it up, and I don't claim to know it or have it figured out. I just, I claim to be open to share and be vulnerable and share my walk with God, and going through the process of figuring this stuff out. And it's not even me figuring them out, him revealing these things and him leading me through. Because honestly, I think there's no, you can read a book and you can, quote passages, and you can understand what somebody's concept is. But there's no substitute for experience. And so I have to go through the experience of this transition, this transformation, this life change. God is sanctifying me. He's changing my life from the inside out, not from the outside in. It's the ultimate self-help. It's not even a self-help. It's a soul help. It is like literally he's changing my heart in a way to where I don't even understand how it's happening. He's identifying, convicting me of things like complacency. Like literally, I just like he gives me what I need. And I don't know how this works with everybody else, and how people are going to watch it, or if they're ever going to watch it, or who watches it. I don't have a clue about that end of it. All I know is that I'm being led to share my walk, and I do it in a way to where anybody can come along. I had my first random person make a comment on one of these videos about a week ago, and the first random person, like somebody I don't know, maybe I do know them, I just don't know. It was just one comment, so it was kind of cool, because I'm pretty sure he was from some other state, and so how God can use this, I have no idea. I get excited about it because I just believe that there's life. I believe that my life has been changed, and I'm creating like a dialogue on how He's changed it, and I don't even know. I To me, at first, it seemed ridiculous, and to be honest with you, I struggle with doubt on how these videos have any importance outside of myself, and that if I'm just being foolish and doing them, you know what I mean? Like, I got these things that come at me, like, and I doubt sometimes, but then I get encouraged. Those are just the brief moments, and I don't know. I'm just rattling now. So, um, I'm going to read a couple more. So, the enemy's basic lie in this battle is that you are free to live for yourself, to do whatever you want to do. This lie comes out of the thought patterns that say such as, what do I want and need? What do I feel like doing? What will make me happier, more comfortable, more content? What will make me look good and sound smart? Wow. Boy, this is like, I didn't even read that one yet. That's some good stuff, because that's stuff I struggled with. I mean, those are things that I was seeking after. I mean, you talk about hitting a nail on the head. You know, Complacency becomes a dangerous addiction. This relates back to the battle against distraction. Spiritually, you're never in neutral gear. This is what I was saying. You're always moving one direction or the other. So if you're not becoming holier, which takes effort enabled by grace, then you're automatically drifting towards worldliness. It says wordlessness. Maybe that's the scripture, wordlessness, which becomes a self-reinforcing spiral. Alan's own experience illustrates the point. During her spiritual crisis, she traded her passion to serve others for epic binges on Netflix, social media, sugar, and dark emotions. These distractions blunted her spiritual zeal even as she craved more of them. Anyways, have a good day. My alarm's about to go off in a minute, so if you're watching, thank you.